Here's sig test 10. I have two ratios that are equal. It's called proportion. You use cross multiplication, 5 times x and 5 times -1. -3 times x, -3 times -9. So this is equal to that guy. Add 3x to both sides. Add 5 to both sides. Divide by 8. There it is. Most people got a 2 here. They added those guys wrong. All right. Subtract 4x from both sides. And then add 20 to both sides. And then divide by 16. Oh, first thing I did is make this guy equal to x. So I added 30, then divided by -1, and that's how I got this guy. I plugged it in for the x. There it is. Distribute. So I got the positive 90. Combine like terms. Subtract 90 from both sides. And that's how I get my y equals 2. Plug it back in. I plugged it right here. 2 times 12 is 24 minus 30 is -6. This one was pretty easy. It's just, did you freak out when you got x equals 0? Plug in the x, solve, you got x equals 0, plug it back in, and you got y equals 0 also. Most people did very well in this problem. 16 students, 14 adult tickets, was a total of $358. 9 adult tickets, 8 student tickets, turned out to be $205. I multiplied the bottom one by a -2, so my x's would cancel out. So I just rewrote this one here, multiplied this equation by -2. That's how I got this guy. A lot of mistakes right here. Weird. -52, -4a. So I get a equals 13. Plug it back into one of the equations. Doesn't matter which one. I just use the one with the smaller numbers. And then multiply, subtract it from each side, divide by 8, and I got $11. A lot of little mistakes here. I multiplied the top one by -2 so that my x's would, or my y's would cancel out. So -2 times that gives me a positive 20x. -2 times 3y is -6y. And -2 times 13 is -26. And then I just looked at these two guys, combined the like terms, gone. Leaves me in -11. That one's gone. Positive 11, x equals -1. Plug the -1 into one of the equations, solve, and I get y equals 1. You can write it as a point. When I multiplied this equation by a -2, so I could cancel out my x's, my y's also canceled out, and so did the numbers. So I got 0 equals 0, which is a true statement. So there's infinitely many solutions since these are the same line. They lie on top of each other. Find the equation of the line. Well, that's y equals mx plus b. So I have to find my slope, and then I can find my y-intercept. Slope is subtract the y's over subtract the x's. So I took that y, subtracted that one. Minus a negative means it's a positive. And then I took 8 minus 16, gave me a -8. So then I reduced it, divide that by 2, divide that by 2, and I get 3/4 negative. I just need to find my b now. Plugged in a point, doesn't matter which point I choose, there's an x and there's a y. So I chose the one with the 0 in it because it's easier. Plug the 0 in. 8 divided by 4 is 2 times -3 is -6. Add 6 to both sides, I get 6. So there's my equation with my m and my b. Find the equation line that goes through this point and has the slope of that guy. So I already know the slope. Plugged in the point. 6 divided by 3 is 2 times 5 is 10. plus my 8, or equals my 8. Subtract 10 from each side, and I get negative 2. So there's my equation. If a point lies on this line, so on this line, has a y-coordinate of 13, so the y is 13. What is the x-coordinate? I just solve for the x. Add 2 to both sides, multiply by the reciprocal, 3 over 5, 3 over 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, times 3 is 9. I saw a lot of these wrong answers. The y is not 0, the y is 13, just like it said. So if you write it as a point, you would write it that way. But it only asks for the x-coordinate, so I just left the x.